Hey, this is Jamie Russo. I am the founder of Everything Coworking, also the founder of Enterspace Coworking, and currently the executive director of the Global Workspace Association. Today, I want to talk about lockers. This came up in our Facebook group, and I thought I would post here as well. So the question is, should I get lockers for my members? I think there are two reasons that folks think about doing lockers. One is a perceived need for security, and one is an actual real need for a place to put their stuff. So a couple of things I would recommend. First of all, the first module that we do in my co-working startup school is called Knowing Your Ideal Customer Avatar. So know who you're serving. Do they actually have stuff they need to store? If they do, would you be better off upgrading them to a dedicated desk? Perhaps. Or do you want to give them the option to store things in a locker? So an example here might be if you are in San Diego. So I toured a space a while ago in San Diego and they had lockers. And I literally said to the owner, does anyone use these? I always hear people say they buy lockers and no one uses them. And the owner said, oh, sure they do. He said, my members go for a run at lunch, they go for a bike, they get sweaty, they come back, they take a shower, they need a place to put their change of clothes or their running shoes in the morning. They actually have stuff to store, and they have the associated amenity of having a shower, so it totally makes sense. What I don't want you to do is think about opening a co-working space, assume that your market's going to be nervous about security, and buy lockers, and then after week one, everyone's like, oh, I get it, I just take my laptop with me, or I can leave my laptop here while I go make a phone call in the phone booth. Nobody's gonna walk out with it. This is a community of people, of professionals that I am getting to like, know, and trust. So don't buy the lockers based on a concern around security or a need that you think your members might have for perceived security. Lockers are really expensive and they take up a lot of space. What you might do if you feel very strongly about the lockers is leave a space where they could go should you decide that you really need them. It won't take long to get them and to install them if you really truly have that need. But I will tell you, many co-working spaces operate with no lockers, and that is just the culture and how they roll, and it's simply not necessary, and they often go unused. I also would encourage you to think about some of the things you'll have to manage around the lockers: keys, locks, charging folks. So lockers getting dirty and smelly. Let me tell you, one of the worst things is when a member leaves and you have a filing cabinet that they have because they had a dedicated desk or an office and they stored gum and all sorts of stuff in it that you then have to clean out. Filing cabinets and lockers don't stay clean when people actually use them. And so these are some of the operational hazards of offering storage that you might not want to get into. There are co-working spaces. So Jerome Chang, I'll reference, he's an architect, designer, and he runs several co-working locations in the LA area. He's like my go-to on design sort of things like, hey, should I offer filing cabinets to my dedicated desks? He does not supply them generally as a standard offering anymore because so many people don't need them, don't want them, or will just use them to store their paper clips and gum. They're expensive to have, and it's just kind of a waste of space and money if folks don't use them. So he makes them an option. So just because you think you need something or see something being done, make sure you're asking in communities and get a really good idea from professionals or really experienced folks in the co-working space so that you make the right decision. And any decision that you can put off, like the lockers, until after you open and see the actual need, absolutely do that. No need to spend money on something that you can't validate ahead of time. Okay, that's it for today. I will be back soon, but hopefully that's a little bit helpful. If you have any comments, thoughts about lockers, certainly put them in the comment box. We will talk soon.